get your backhand to the next level, I have a great video for you. What we're going to do today is I'm going to show you 3.0 backhands all the way up to the 5.0 level, show you those fundamental differences, share with you some ideas that you're going to need to employ to get your backhand to that next level. And if getting your backhand to the next level is truly important to you, the best thing you can do right now is go to 7daybackhandchallenge.com. Go to 7daybackhandchallenge.com. I got a 7-day systematic challenge for you that's definitely going to help you improve your one-hander and your two-handed backhand. Okay, so let's get into this video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share some examples of matches posted on the internet from a 3.0 to a 5.0 level. And we're going to show you pretty much what I have seen over my, gosh, I'm 48, been coaching since I've been 18, a long, long time of coaching, okay? A long, long time. B2 is going crazy. B2, say hello to everybody, okay? B2 is going to analyze your backhand. B2, for whatever reason, when I start talking on camera, he doesn't like it. He gets mad. Anyway, all right, let's go. I'm going to share the screen right now, and we're going to take you to our first example. So we got some really good clips for you today. The first one is a 3.0 match. Again, of course, some people have worse form. Some people have better form at a 3.0, but I think this is a pretty good representation. And I actually think the first guy, we're going to analyze his backhand, even though the form is not great, this is the type of, he has a type of technique to win a ton of matches at the 3.0 level, and I'll explain why. So let's take a look here. We can see here as he's hitting, very unorthodox. We're going from the near court here, this guy. We can see that after he hits, he doesn't really get ready, but the other guy's not recovering either. So he hits a winner off a backhand that really shouldn't have been a winner. But what he has here is he has pretty good feel, even though the technique's not good, and very good hand-eye coordination, but not really strong technique. His opponent as well, again, you can see there's just kind of poking about the ball right now. So they're into the phase of their tennis career where they're just starting to learn how to keep the ball in play with the tools they've developed and starting to develop a little bit of form. Now, before we go to that 3-5, I want to slow down and really take a look at some fundamental things that would need to be changing if we're going to get that backhand up to the 3.5 level. So first thing here is, even in the ready position, even before the serve comes, we can see, you know, just look at the eye test. We can see, okay, this does not look like high level tennis. Person hasn't even hit a ball yet. So just a simple thing like a ready position can really show what kind of level you're at. Really going to see that when we get up to a 5.0 level. And that doesn't really take anything other than developing some just solid fundamental habits. It doesn't take even improving your athleticism or anything. But we can see here, ready position is really weak. The first move, the unit turn, very unorthodox, and he's grabbing the racket by the tip, okay? The pros are going to grab the racket by the throat. And so this is going to limit, why is this important? This is going to limit his ability to really get into a nice rotation. It's going to get his elbow protruding out. So just the way you hold your racket can limit the things that you could do with the tennis ball. That's why each little detail, and that's what we go over in the 7-day backhand challenge, each little detail either works for you or against you. So just a simple thing like holding the racket on top rather than by the throat, yes, it does make a difference, guys. So when he comes here, he just basically pushes through the ball. We can see that his racket face opens when he's done. So if he really swung very fast at a ball, he couldn't really control many balls in the court. But what this guy has, again, we can see right now he's a little late in the unit turn here. So not much of a unit turn yet. And we can see that the ball is getting ready to bounce. All right, his weight is on the back foot. So too far on the back foot at this point for how fast the ball is coming. So he's going to have to basically, it continues to go backwards. At this point, we'd want to start to see the shift into the court. So he's on his back foot. So this is going to, again, force him to kind of block it in. Now, what this guy is very, very good at, though, is hand-eye coordination. So at a 3.0 level, even you might start to have better form than this guy. He's going to be tough to beat. Look, he walks back to the middle. There's no running back. There's no split step. It doesn't matter, though. This guy, believe it or not, I believe, has very, very good kind of ball sense. He is I believe he's probably a pretty good athlete, even though he's not getting really any of the fundamentals down. He's got a good feel for what he's doing out there and what his opponent can do to hurt him. So he's here standing, waiting. He gets a wide base before the ball comes, so that's good. Again, we can see the setup, and he notices where his opponent is. His opponent didn't get back to the middle, and so he hits a very easy winner out there. And so this guy's going to make a lot of balls. You're going to have to either be willing to the way to beat a player like this is you're going to either have to get down the trenches with him and play a lot of long rallies and really figure out his weaknesses and outsteady him and outfox him, or you develop superior technique that's so superior that he will not be able to keep up. I don't know if you guys have recently watched the MEP and Essential Tennis series. That was pretty much what we saw. It's what I've been saying for a long time. Like players, this player kind of has like MEP-like strokes. It's tough to beat until you have overwhelming technique and you can't keep up. MEP in the beginning was playing players who had decent technique, but not enough baked in to where he could read what they were going to do. He could get one more ball back in play. When he started to play, I believe it was Scott, who has really strong fundamentals, power, and Ian. They could both come to the net. They had better technique. They could expose and they could finish. Then at that point, it wasn't a match anymore. So those are your choices to beat a player like this, and especially to get to the next level. So let's now go and fast forward here to the 3.5 level. Okay, so now we're on to 3.5 backhands. See, here's a friendly set. One thing I want to point out too, you'll notice this player right here, if he had a better backhand, you see how now there's a little more style there. He's coming to the net very effectively there and using it. But we can see that the serve, I would say that serve is easily a 4-0 serve. Forehand is probably like a 3-5. And the backhand is bordering between 3-0 and 3-5. Okay, so he doesn't really use his backhand very effectively. Again, that's a pretty darn good serve for a 3-5. But you can see the backhand, basically he pushes around. And this is very typical too for players who get to that 3.5 level. I notice this a lot to where the development in the backhand is lagging, right? And that's apparent with both of these players. They have decent serves, an okay forehand there, right? So their serve and their forehand is developing faster than the backhand. The backhand is a big liability for lots of 3-5 players. Hits through the ball a little bit there, but he kind of pushed through that ball and muscled through that ball, so it went short and barely went over the net. It didn't flow deep into the court. We can see here too, again, there's not really much of a setup in using the biokinetic chain. It's just kind of being massaged around the court. But you notice they're trying to load up on their serve. They're trying to load up on their forehands. Other forehands have a little bit of ways to go too before you would call it a solid 4-0 forehand. But you can see it's definitely more developed than the backhand, which is kind of being poked around the court by both players. But we can see, let's watch this point here, like especially right there. Let's break that down in slow motion. Let's compare it to what we just watched with the 3.0 player. So we can see that this player is on their way, a long way to go, in my opinion, to get to a 4-0 level with their backhand. But we can see that they are studying fundamentals a bit, especially this player's obviously studied a lot of fundamentals on the serve and has come a decent way here. Good recovery, decent ready position. Okay, now notice what we're seeing here. The one-hander is being held by the throat. He's holding it by the throat. He's getting a little better unit turn. The racket tip is up, getting almost to a proper position. The grip looks like it might be a little bit weak, okay, which is holding this player back. That's why he's not able to really rip under it and get a lot of topspin. So I think the grip is weak. A nice little load trying to go from back leg to front leg into the ball. Okay, decent step. We can see the racket head. There is a little more shoulder turn. Look how the chest is more of the fence. So there's definitely more fundamentals being employed here at this 3-5 level. Decent follow through. But again, not really loading up the kinetic chain very much because look how short that ball landed and then this player's coming on in. But you can see clearly that when you do go up level by level, you're going to notice little things done a little better. And what do you need to do to get to the next level? Well, you got to continue to do things even a little better. So what we're going to see at the 4-0 level backhand, if you want to get your backhand to a 4-0, again, if you're a 3-5, you want to get to a 4-0, my biggest suggestion, definitely sign up for the 7-day backhand challenge. But what we're going to notice, and let me speed this up so you can appreciate it. We're going to see again that the backhand, I believe, is lagging in development behind serves and forehands. So again, it does seem like the backhand does lag in development, and that is going to be, especially when you get to a 4-0 level, it's going to be picked on more and more. Both opponents kind of are going after each other's backhand, so it does really pay off when you can develop some solid fundamentals on the backhand and not be easily attacked with it. But we're going to notice that the play gets faster and faster at each level, which is going to require you to get better technique. So nice little slice return, pretty good looking forehand there. So again, we can see they're definitely on their way. Big forehand down the line. Player with in the hat wasn't able to handle that on the backhand side. Now look, now they're going to attack this player's backhand. Should have put the ball away. I mean, really, to me, that point's over. If you're just looking at 9 times out of 10, he still won the point. He should have lost it because he didn't put that ball away. But what we're noticing is the backhand is getting pushed on, picked on. It is tougher for them to hit deep backhands. They're able to get their forehand deeper and attack and also defend better, right? Notice that was a nice attack, nice defend, then attack again. There's a little weak backhand pass. Point was wide open. Again, blue shirt should have won that point. But I do think you can clearly see that on every shot that these two players, the one in the orange hat keeps getting kind of lucky though with the backhand, but struggles to get any real weight into the ball and to get the ball deep. So you can see that his backhand is getting picked on, and blue shirt guy is really going after that backhand. But we can still see I think on every shot, I don't know if you guys can see that, the fundamentals are more solid. Like, look at that. That was a decent setup off the two-hander. Can go to the one-hand slice and defend a little bit. And, man, how many points have we seen blue shirt Kai let him off the hook, which is a big part of tennis, you know, being able to finish. That was really the difference between, if you watch Essential Tennis and MEP, that was the big difference. The 4-5, the stronger high-level 4-0 and 4-5 players were able to finish, where the lower 4-0 players that were playing MEP couldn't finish. Okay. Some decent forehands going on. So we can see that the forehand is clearly more advanced from both these players than the backhand. So to get their game to another level, what they need to do to be a higher level 4-0 player, they need to hit more backhands like the guy in the orange hat just hit. That was a solid backhand. Let's see what happens here. Too short, getting attacked. Okay, notice how much better at this level, though. Like, look at that. It's a nice slice, a nice slice. So they're able to just have a little better technique on their slices and on their topspin. But we can see that there's still a long way to go in their development to where they couldn't go out there, no matter how much heart. And that's what I'm trying to say. You know, people always say, what's more important, technique or your mental toughness? Well, when you're playing in these two, you know, they're evenly matched. So who's ever going to play the smarter match, who's ever more mentally tough, is going to come out on this day. Whoever can finish a little better, defend a little better, they're going to win on this day versus each other. But neither of these players right here, if they're playing a true 4-5 player, will have the technique, especially on the backhand side. I mean, this would be, you know, really getting picked apart. Right here is that guy trying to pick him apart. That the point would be over already, though. You see, against a 4-5 player, that point would have been over. So, you know, that's the importance of continuing to work on your craft and your technique if you want to keep going up level by level, because each time you just get a little tougher to beat the more your technique improves. Like you can see these guys. I would say these guys are a little stronger 4-0 players than the last two opponents we watched. So they're able to get a little more on their backhand. They're able to have a little better points. They're finishing more offensively. So this is a little higher level of 4-0. But we can see that it just still, so what holds a pretty solid 4-0 player from being a 4-5 player? It still looks a little mechanical. It looks, to me, in too close to the body, very, very cramped. It's like they're trying to do the right things, but the kinetic chain isn't syncing up exactly as you need it to create easy power. The power from both players here on every shot, although it's definitely better and there's more spins and it's definitely higher quality of tennis, it's still looking a little forced. It's looking a little muscled. And I bet you if we put this in slow motion and we capture a backhand on video, I bet you we're going to see it pretty in tight to the body. And I'm going to start to play in slow motion, and let's take a look at this player here on the close to us. You know, how close is that ball? That ball's in too tight on the forehand side. So how could he get his forehand to a 4-5 level? Well, he's got to create more space, and he has the same issues on the backhand side. Let's take a look at this backhand again. Look how close his arms are into his body, so that those elbows are too tight into his body. Okay. That ball, again, it wasn't really used with the leg shooting through. That was more of the arms. That was armed a little too much. It was a little too close. Let's take a look at the next backhand. Let's take a look at the spacing. Again, way too tight into the body here. This is what's keeping this player back. Way too cramped. And because he's cramped, he's having to slingshot his arms out of there rather than his hips. That's what's keeping him from being a 4-5 player. So it really does, to me, show that if you want to keep moving up level by level, yes, certainly you have to get in better shape. You have to get mentally tough, but you have to continue to work on your technique. You just can't say that, you know, technique is not important to your development and that it's all about getting fit and strategy and mental toughness, because, again, I contend that these players are playing pretty mentally tough to me. It looks like their battles, they like to battle, they're grinders. Mep is a very, very mentally tough tennis player, right? He battles like crazy. But eventually, if the technique isn't as far along away as your mental toughness, it all of a sudden is going to be overwhelmed and overmatched by somebody who can play an intelligent tennis match, who also has worked on their craft longer, or maybe just more intensely, or follow the right steps. That's, again, the reason why I have made these 7-day backhand challenges. They follow the right steps. So now all of a sudden we're going to get into a 4-5 backhand. Okay, and what you're going to notice here before we even play it is you're going to start to notice easy power. You're going to start to notice fluidity. The ball just seems to be shooting off the strings a lot easier because ready positions are better, fundamentals are better, the preparation's better, contact points better, spacing's better, and so the ball just comes off the racket like butter. This big guy here doesn't even really look like he's trying when he hits his one-hander. Boom, just right through it. Looks easy, beautiful. Bam, okay? So this guy's not in the greatest shape, but he's worked hard at some point on his technique, and he just like flows through the backhand. Look at that. Then he's got the slice, beautiful slice. And then right here, to me, this is just more, it's a little bit of a technical mistake, but it was more of a strategy mistake, okay? Again, let's watch those fundamentals. That was pretty nice looking one-hander to me. Let's watch those fundamentals back. And again, so you can ask yourself, well, how would this guy have done with the other players? I think even though maybe he's not in as good a shape as the other players, I think his technique and his ability to make shots would overwhelm any 3-5, 4-0 player who's got a heart like they're just a warrior. This guy's technique is just too solid. Again, look where he's holding the racket. He's holding by the throat. Look at the difference in how far his racket comes back, okay? Maybe facing to the sky a little too much, but it's kind of an illusion because he's got the right grip, okay? He's in a motorcycle grip. So he's got right when he gets there, he turns it around and then is able to hit that top spin. I wish let's just watch that again I'm just gonna let it play through. So again, look at the turn. He's holding it by the throat. Remember the 3-0 wasn't. Look at that. Now he drops in the slot, smooth finish, and he's recovering. Again, he's going to have identical preparation on every shot, picks this right off the bounce with no problem, hits through it nice and relaxed. Okay, so at some point, this guy has really studied how to hit a backhand. Going to come here with a forehand. He's got a little bit of the modern technique on his forehand. Spacing wasn't great there, but I think that was just because of obviously he's got to improve his footwork and his fitness. Again, he's setting up, getting that backhand flowing through it. Okay, he's got a nice counterbalance. The slice backhand. The slice backhand is beautiful. Look at that. Looks like a teaching pro. Okay, these are all the moves. We're going to teach you each and every move you need to do that obviously this guy studied to develop a stroke like this if you have a one-handed backhand. Even if you have a two-handed backhand, we're going to teach you how to hit a slice like that. And again, here it was, a racket face opened up a little bit. That could have something to do with that prep of how open he faces it in the beginning. But I think he would have made that shot most likely if he would have made a different strategy choice and gone cross court with it. So I think he just got a little impatient. Again, maybe that is a fitness issue that he just didn't want to play anymore. Okay, now watch this. Here's another skill that's overlooked by recreational players: the ability to absorb pace and then make the right choice. Okay, so look at how difficult this was. This return right here. This return right here took a lot of different things going on. It took, and again, you have to have good technique to be able to do this effectively, especially against another 4 or 5 player and survive and figure out a way out of this. He had racket head awareness. He had technique. He had his ability to absorb pace, right? Had balance. Okay, lots of things going on just to get this return back in play and just to give himself a fighting chance. Right, so right here, he goes right away to the slice backhand. He's got the feel. He goes instantly into a recovery, that spin move. Look at the ready position. He's split stepping, and then he goes to the two-hander. And now, again, he has the feel to absorb the pace and put it in the most difficult place for this guy. He could have hit a little better lob over the backhand shoulder, but notice that is the shot he chose. He's like, okay, I'm going to loft this up, take all the sting and the pace off the ball, and put it higher with the backhand shoulder. Again, this gentleman should have made that shot, but he could. I think a reason why he misses, he saw this guy reading where the next ball is going. So we already see an advancement. And now we're going to move in to the 5.0. The 5.0 backhand. And what we're going to notice is already, look, guys. Let me go back there again. I'm going to put this in slow motion too, because I really want everybody to appreciate this. What I want you to appreciate is right off the bat, we have not even seen a hit yet. I can already tell you these two players are superior. Why? Just with this gentleman's ready position. Again, this ready position is something anybody can master if you work on it. Okay, nice, solid, athletic fundamentals. I can already tell this person's been trained. Okay, tennis is a sport. You have to follow systems. You have to be trained. You can't wing it. Okay, and so we have junior development programs. I can tell he's a younger guy, so obviously he learned all this stuff as a junior. My mission is to train adults like this online and in person to where we go through adult development programs. So the 7-day backhand challenge is an adult development program. All the things that you were never shown that maybe has you having 3-0, 3-5-ish strokes that no one ever taught you, that's what we're going to teach you so you can look like a better player without even hitting a ball. That player looks great, hasn't even hit a ball yet. I can already tell, well, that player's been trained. Okay. This person's really worked on their craft. Again, we see the split steps happening, the balance. We do have a return of serve day, by the way, on the 7-day backhand challenge. Look at how he uses his, does he step in? No, because a return of serve is not a ground stroke, guys. And this kid has learned that. Okay. This kid who's a 5-0 player, he's learned that. Okay, I can't do a traditional turn and step in if I'm handling pace. I've got to have a little bit different footwork. I've got to hit a little more on the open and then bring my leg forward. And look at the difference in the spacing. Look at the footwork and the ready position on the way back to the middle. Again, watch the solid preparation, okay? Wide base, getting ready to load up on the back leg. Look at the, you'll notice the difference in the spacing. Remember that other player we looked at 4-0, how the elbows were in too tight? Notice how the elbows are a little further away. Racket tip up, okay? So he looks much better hitting the backhand, has much more of a flow, is using his kinetic chain. Again, look at the split step. His opponent is also a very strong player. Again, we can see the preparation on the run. And choosing it a higher, heavier ball cross court, good decision, just missed it. But again, really, really pretty looking backhand. Again, look at the ready position, guys. Watch the ready position. Okay, getting on the split steps, going out to the backhand. We can't see this backhand. Really nice kick serve. Look at that kick serve. Okay, getting it back in play. Coming back, watching the fundamentals. Okay, going to the forehand again. Again, look, he's got the same solid fundamentals on the forehand side. Calling it out. It's out. It was out. We did a shot spot on it. Okay, now this player as well. Okay, didn't have as much firepower, but maybe a little bit more of a stronger competitor. This guy really was great at absorbing pace and making you play a lot of balls. Okay, so we'll watch this one more point, but I think you guys are getting the idea. Okay, again, look, you can see that the flow is there. The player on the far side actually used their body a little better, but this player was very, very good at learning. He had more height and was a better mover on the clay. I'm not sure who won this match, but you can see again that shot was used with the kinetic chain. His hips made that shot, not his arms. Okay, again, look at the footwork. Look at the setting up. And it's out, okay? But we can see, we're seeing that definitely a much higher quality of tennis. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. And just so I can holler at you a little bit and see that, yes, of course, strategy is important, okay? What you're doing in your mind is important. And even if you don't have very good, solid fundamentals, you can win a lot of matches with that. But there does come a point to where you're going to be overwhelmed technically by someone who's really trained and has baked in their strokes. It doesn't matter, you know, how strong your will is and how strong your mind is. If you play somebody who is just technically superior than you, then you really can't do anything about it. I highly suggest you go back and watch on Essential Tennis, which was great drama, great, really awesome. Watch all the matches between Mep, who I love. I don't think you can have a better mindset ever than him, and all the other players he played against. And each round you could see the technique getting a little cleaner. And so eventually he was just overwhelmed because no matter how much he told himself to keep fighting and to have the best outlook, it didn't matter. So if you want to keep your technique going to another level, then and you want to improve your backhand, definitely sign up for my 7-day backhand challenge. What I'm going to do right now is leave you with a little commercial. We're starting May 24th. And what happens is you get 2 days, 48 hours to each day. We have 7 days. We go over cloning Roger Federer's backhand, Novak Djokovic's backhand. We teach you how to hit an ultimate rally ball. We teach you how to hit a really awesome slice backhand. We show you the proper footwork. We have a return day. We have a perfect practice day where we go over everything, so you can just go over everything. And so you get 48 hours access to do what? To have a taste test, to see how that works for you. And then if you want to really take your backhand serious, get the lifetime access. Because I even watched a video today with Tiger Woods, and he said, you know, my coach made me do this one move over and over again, and it drove me crazy, but it was really what made me change my swing in 2000s, where I played my best golf ever. And then the coach said, yes, well, you know, it's funny, most players, and it reminded me of, this was golf he was talking about, but it reminded me of tennis students. most tennis students, try something for a half an hour and they think they've got it. And then they're disappointed when it doesn't work when they go out to play their golf round. It's the same thing with tennis players. You'll take a lesson, you'll watch a video like, oh, I got it. Where the pros, he said, Tiger, we worked that over and over and over again, and it's Tiger Woods. Well, that's what it takes. What was the difference between the 3-0 to the 5-0? It was training. It was doing moves like I'm going to be teaching the 7-day challenge over and over and over again. So that's what it takes to get to the next level. Okay, I'm going to play the commercial. Definitely sign up for the 7-day backhand challenge, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's time to develop a backhand with massive spin and power without having to give up accuracy or consistency, and without having to spend hours and hours on the court every day for the rest of your life, and without having to spend thousands of dollars on lessons that just don't work. My name is Peter Freeman, and I'm the founder of Crunch Time Coaching. You may have seen my videos on YouTube where I have over 10 million views. Or maybe you've seen me interview the great Rick Macy, Gigi Fernandez, or Rod Laver with my TennisCon event that features the very best coaches in the world in an effort to take your game to the next level. When you enroll in my challenge, you're going to unlock $1,068 worth of value. Your challenge includes a 7-day step-by-step video coaching system, a perfect practice plan, drill sheets, and live coaching and support. Plus, I'm throwing in a free bonus, my very best backhand lessons